Knack on Pearl said that you won't do content with him anymore, and that you use to be best buddies. Build the bridge for our Latino brother.
I'm thinking about it. The thing with Fuentes is that, like, right now, me doing content or not doing content all comes down to how spiteful I'm being. Honestly, that's really the only thing. Because I get a lot of views doing it, but the problem is what happened was Fuentes' community was out of pocket, and he knows that they were, by doing that mass reporting shit. Fuentes himself was on some mass reporting shit. When he was fighting with, I think, Medicare and them, Ralph and his community were on some mass reporting shit. He decided that he didn't need me because he's like, well, fuck Destiny. And then he avoided a debate with me in LA, probably because he didn't want to mess up his Kanye thing, because he thought that was going to be his next thing. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it. Kanye's dead in 2 months. We'll see where you're at. And in 2 months, yay, 2024 was dead, and now he's back looking to be friends with me again. So, like, could I do more content? Like, I can, but, like, it's pretty transparent how, like, kind of cloudy or exploitative he's trying to be with it. Like, it feels, like, kind of dumb, you know? The other day in chat, you said to me, reactions don't drive the stream. Can you elaborate on that? Reactions don't... I don't know what you mean by reactions. People on the subreddit are saying Sweet Anita is a compulsive liar. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Just because reacting to stuff isn't what drives the stream, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Oh. There's a formula to what makes my brand of content work. There's something that makes it unique, and there's something that I excel at. So I think there's like a formula. I haven't ever written this down before. Somebody could formalize it. But there's like a formula where there's some news event that happens. It's either some news event or it's some person reacting to a news event. And then from there, I have like my reaction to the news event. That might involve some research. That might involve us like looking into the news event. And then from there, we get like kind of like a cycle of arguing with people over that news event. And then these cycles might swap back and forth, where we argue, we do more research, we argue, we do more research. This, I think, is like the cycle for success in general when it comes to my type of content. I could do research pretty well.
You go live the one day I decide to go out and touch grass decal on.
True. But I excel at conversations. This is like my bread and butter. This is what I do best. I think that so something that the thing that makes this difficult is I need like a good I don't want to say a foil. I don't need a foil. I need like a good group of people to bounce ideas off of. If I don't have anybody to like argue with or give a take against or have a conversation with over political things, then the cycle starts to look like this. There's like an event that happens, and then I'll give like a reaction or a take to it, and then that's it, and it just dies. This is like a one day thing, and it's super boring. Nobody cares, and it's a whatever. It's difficult to make this work because I need political adversaries that don't disappear forever. One of the problems I have is that the Twitch politics scene is essentially dead. Except for, I don't know if there's small panel shows with like commies and stuff on it. And all the people that kind of like came over to YouTube or started doing politics over here when I left are basically like my friends. So there's not like much in the way of argumentation. So I don't have like a good cycle of people to fight with. And then also the ante has gotten upped on so many topics that there are some things that are really interesting that just can never be spoken about anymore. So for instance, there's a whole bunch of trans news and stuff that's been going on. I can't cover this anymore, and I can't engage with it anymore because the communities are too toxic and the risk is too high, where if you say the wrong thing, everybody's getting banned. It's turned into like playing poker games in the hood, where you're or gambling, or playing dice, I guess, right? Where you're getting robbed like every single time you play a game. It's not worth it. So trans topics are totally out. There's some interesting stuff relating to like black issues and the WL community. This feels kind of weird because I'm white, and it ends up being me either fighting against all black people in favor of or against all black people, or black men or women. This feels kind of weird, but it's possible. I could just say black issues. I put WL community because some of this is intersected with them. There, you also run into that high stakes issue here, though, of like racism, where you get like basically everybody calls you racist. I haven't seen anybody banned for that yet, kind of, I don't think. So with this gone, there's like, right now I notice I don't have any people that are like regularly in my orbit that I can fight with. Historically, these opponents would have been people like Vaush, Hasan, Keffals, even though we didn't technically directly talk to her. And then it would have been like the orbiters of all of these people, or the people that are like cyclical in these kind of communities, essentially. MrGirl and Lav would have been two, and Alicia, and then some of the debates around that. And then as of recently, the most successful formula for this has been Red Pill. The Red Pill stuff has followed the formula like pretty well. Kind of, there's like a news story or a topic that comes out. We do a little bit of research onto it. I hop onto shows. I argue with people. Those arguments spur more arguments, which spur more research, which spur more engagement. And that's why the Red Pill arc has been as successful as it has been. Because the people in that community tend to be more reported. So they're not on that mass report shit, which is nice. You're not getting banned ever arguing with red pillars. And the people seem to not get as ass mad as everybody else on the internet. So like, obviously I disagree with like Myron and Fresh. Like I disagree with them on everything, but like we're still okay. I disagree with Sneeko on everything, but we're still like okay. Like I can have arguments, like pretty hardcore arguments with these people, and it's like okay. Like our relationships aren't like completely destroyed. Destiny, not trying to be antagonistic, but an hour-long Hasan-esque segment reacting to the mainstream media could 100% instigate these interactions. No, they have the benefit of driving short-form engagement. The problem is that, like, I don't like simply reacting to the news. It's very boring to me. The surface-level takes and the stories are usually boring to me. And unless I can actually get, like, conversations out of it, it's not like... There's other people that can do that, probably about as well as I can. Like, I don't think... Like I can react to a news story about as well as anybody else can. Where I excel at is conversation and debates and talking to people with different opinions. You talked about this before. The community sometimes feels like it. The community has no idea what it wants ever, and it's very difficult when I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in terms of direction of my content, because the community has no idea what it wants ever. Community doesn't know. They think they do, or some people think they do, but they just truly, you have no idea what you enjoy watching or what you don't enjoy watching. Like, I could have written out, I should have actually in a doc somewhere. Like, I knew in advance, I wanted to play StarCraft, it's fun, I want to get GM. But, like, prior to StarCraft, when I'm playing, like, Factorio and then MrGirl and Lav shit, like, you guys are saying, like, bring back StarCraft, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, StarCraft is 3,000 viewers, Lav and MrGirl and Factorio is 15,000 viewers. I also ran into an issue where, I've said this before, how my tolerance for, like, memeing has gotten so low, and it's sad, but my tolerance for memeing has gotten so low because you guys are so fucking retarded that memes turn into reality almost instantly. So for instance, like you guys will, like you guys memed yourself into the reality where you thought you hated Factorio, but the reality is the Factorio arc gave us the best content the stream has ever had. The Factorio arc was XQC, Trainwrecks, and Mizkif, that 70,000 viewer stream. The Factorio arc was everything with the Keffals manifesto. It was with the MrGirl and all the live shit. It was with all the Annalicia convos. It was with sometimes a 6 or 7 or 8 like ABBA, Dan, everybody else jumping into, like all of that was there. But you guys actually memed yourself into thinking that like when you saw Factorio got mad, you wanted StarCraft. Even though the content is way worse, the engagement is way worse, you just have no idea. So yeah. To be fair, you did promise a lot of things after finishing Factorio. Yeah, I can, but I can only do so much. I can't do much on my own. I have to have a cast of people to interact with. So the recent thing about the Ohio stuff was a really good example. The Ohio thing is very interesting because none of you know what happened, Nobody in the media knows what happened. Nobody on social media knows what happened. And there's a lot of people with strong opinions out there, but I don't really have anybody to fight with over it. The reality is the East Palestine oil spill was not that remarkable. Most of it was cleaned up pretty quickly. Government did about what they should have, and there's not really much to talk about. But people memed this story into like one of the most insane fucking environmental disasters ever when it didn't need to be. And that would have been a really interesting fight to have with people, but I have nobody around me to fight about it with. Like, nobody. So all I did was like, I covered it, I gave my take on it, I guess some YouTube commenters got mad, but I have like nobody to like go back and forth to flesh out my arguments with, essentially. Even the research streams we do are generally only good, I think, because the research streams are pointing us in a direction of a debate. Like, it would be hard to compare this, but like, I don't know if I would have gotten, you know, like 13,000 viewers for, you know, what, 100 hours or probably 50 hours doing that 9/11 research stream if it wasn't because there was a debate with Nick and Sneeko waiting on the other end. Even though that didn't happen, like, I think that was there was a driving force behind it. Do you realistically see yourself ever debating people like Shapiro or Peterson? Shapiro and Peterson would be fun, but they're ideologues. They'd be fun to debate for like the fame, but it wouldn't be very fruitful. It wouldn't be very intellectually engaging because both of them are 100% audience captured. Shapiro is never meaningfully changing his opinion on anything. Neither is Peterson. So like the tier below that are more interesting for me to engage with because those people could meaningfully be moved, or their audiences could, you know? Can you poach adversaries off TikTok? Maybe, but it's harder. I tried to with, I hung out with Farah a bit when I was in LA, and we were trying to reach out to people to do debates with, but like, everybody disappeared. I almost debated that Victoria girl, but then she disappeared. There was another guy on TikTok, and then he disappeared. There were like 2 or 3 others. And even on her account, like, trying to reach out to people, they just like would disappear. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like the TikTok people are a little bit more sketchy, although, she was saying that it's not as common that people on TikTok are like big into like debates and stuff, so maybe that just doesn't happen as much. Twitter Spaces sounds interesting, but like I don't know if I want to like, I don't want to just be screaming at randoms or having people screaming at randoms. I don't know. Do you feel like there should be a seasonal change in the politics content, having it coincide more with elections anyway, reduce it on the off years? Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like that's happening naturally a little bit too, to where like there's just not much going on right now politically. But as the election starts to pick up more and we come into the presidential election season, we're probably going to start to see that content pick up again. I mean, it's never been the case in the history of the stream that like we've ran out of people to talk to. I'm sure it'll happen again, but like, yeah, right now there's just, I feel a little bit like Batman, to where people are always like, oh, like why is Batman so good? Well, Batman is like defined by his villains, and I think to some extent the stream works a little bit like that, to where the stream content is the best when we have really good adversaries that we kind of like gear our research and our news and our conversations towards. I feel like that's like what drives a lot of, at least for me in my brain, that drives a lot of my interest. Don't your best adversaries come from your audience? No. It's usually other content creators, I think. What about Wik panels? Wik panels are okay. I'm not as big a fan of like panels. Panels are okay, but ever considered absolutely burying a content creator? Haven't we already done that a few times? Matt Brunig wants to debate you. Yeah, but it's not over his like ideal model of socialism. Like, fam, like, yeah, I don't know. I can't get out of bed for that. Suggest a different topic. I mean, it's not really suggesting a topic. It's more just like whatever the current events are. And right now, there's just not much going on politically. What about Fabian Liberty? No, come on, guys. Jesus Christ. Somebody who's going to make every single debate about fucking libertarian issues? Please. We just need the next, like, political season to kick off. You should be reaching up, in my opinion. The have a chance to your mind stuff is cope and needlessly restrictive. No, it's, you guys say reaching up, but like, again, this is where like you guys don't understand like what you want, or you don't understand like what will come out of things. Like if I had a conversation with like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson, it's going to be a one-time thing. It'll probably be like a relatively hype event for my YouTube channel, and then nothing will come from it. Like, it's not like, oh my God, he had a debate with like Jordan Peterson, now he gets an HBO show. Like, it's going to be both of us like dogmatically demagoguing our positions. Nobody's going to change their mind. It's probably going to be surface level at best. And then like, that'll be it. It'd be cool to do. Like, I'm not going to pass it up. If I have the opportunity to talk to like Peterson or Shapiro or Rogan, then I'm not going to pass it up, of course. But that's not going to be like mainstream, like awesome, like we're doing this for the rest of stream content. It has to be in the best content I do involves like a regular cast of characters that we kind of develop stories, develop narratives, develop personalities and understandings for. I think that's where the interest comes from, for sure. I'm hoping that the next getting unbanned from Twitch would be nice. I don't know how much that would help with that. What's wrong with the current cast? Well, the problem with the current cast is there's too much agreement between all of our opinions. Like, I have good characters right now, but we don't disagree on anything. So, like, what the fuck is the point? Like, Erudite, I think, is very smart. I respect her a lot. Pisco is a really smart guy. I respect him. Wicked Supreme, when he's not shitting me in chat, is a really cool guy. But, like, we agree on, like, 98% of issues. We're not gonna, like, we're just not gonna be arguing about much, you know? We need more, like, Fuenteses or Lauren Southerns or even MrGirls or Labs or whatever. Counterpoints is good. Counterpoints is, like, the one guy we've got that's, like, a good guy. Counterpoints is probably the star person I have right now that stands in opposition to me for disagreement. Rob is okay, but like the bad faith and the hardcore debate tactics are a little obnoxious. Sneeko is pretty good. Sneeko has the capability to be good. He was better earlier on, but now it's just a little bit more like that's the Matrix, 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 and it's just like, okay. Counterpoints is good, but the problem with the problem too is that, like, I have to get you guys to chill the fuck out on your fucking hate threads. You guys get so fucking mad at people, and I think sometimes it drives away some people because they don't want to, because nobody wants like a thread with like 200 comments saying this is like the dumbest motherfucker in the world, and then it's like, okay, well, Zerka's okay content. He's just pretty overwhelming. Zerka's good. I think Zerka and Counterpoints are like our two star figures right now in terms of people that like can disagree with us but don't get like super ass mad. Like Counterpoints is a cool dude. He's not gonna get like ass mad over anything. Problem is Zerka's never serious. Yeah, I think Zerka might have a no jumper show. We'll see how that turns out. Keffals, are we leaving her in the dust? It's trans stuff is too much for me. I just can't do it. It's not worth it. Aaron and Pixie are okay. Aaron and Pixie are pretty decent. Disagreeers, but again, chat gets like really fucking nasty about it. I legitimately don't even understand why people hate Pixie so much. Like Aaron, her communication style is pretty combative, so I can understand it. But Pixie, I feel, is pretty chill. I think Pixie has some speech patterns that can invoke anger. They do in me, at least. But the problem isn't even so much liking or not liking people. The problem is how binary you guys get when it comes to like your feelings about people. That you guys can never be like, oh, like I think this guy had a bad take, or even for me, oh, I think Destiny had a bad take. It's never that. It's always like, oh, this is like a long list of bad things where he's sliding off and I can't watch him anymore ever again, or like, oh, I have no respect for Pixie or Counterpoints. I hope they because these are the worst things I've ever heard of my. There's like no in between. It's always like a binary, like this is the best take I've ever heard, or this person never needs to come on stream again, and they hopefully themselves immediately as soon as they read my Reddit comment. There's literally no middle ground. It's so obnoxious. Is it really impossible to find a reasonably sane trans creator to talk with, or do you think it's just not worth it? It's not worth engaging with those communities because all of them call for permabans instantly. Like arguing more with black communities might be fun over like red pill stuff, or if we do like the Aiden Ross stuff, even that's a little bit sweaty though. Like just the people that just scream like trans people, and then black people that just scream like racism, transphobic, permaban, it's just like it's so tired. It's so tired and played out. Ugh. I don't know. Do you like the Ayla content you've done? Yes. But Ayla runs into the same problem. Oh, I have Ayla content we can do, actually. It would be really fun to go over her surveys. The problem with Ayla is that like I'm pretty sure that we're gonna agree on most things, and like we chat, and it's interesting to kind of get into the weeds in it, but there's not gonna be much like argumentation there. It would be interesting to find something that I super disagree with her. Actually, no, actually it wouldn't even be interesting because I think we're both relatively reasonable people, so we'd probably resolve it pretty quickly. What about Rakita? I've reached out to Rakita a couple times to do like content, but it seems like he's just not as interested, so I'm not gonna force the issue. Yeah, convos with Brenna Wu. Yeah, Brenna Wu is interesting, but again, it's going to be we're gonna agree on most things. You realize more people just want drama instead of actual content. Yeah, but it's like the nice thing about the debating stuff is that it combines the two, right? Like, I think that's like the pinnacle content is when we're combining educational, politically relevant material with dramatic narratives and storylines. So like the apex of this is going to be like my Ukraine debate with Dylan, Jackson Hinkle, and Haas and Infrared. This is like peak content, right? Where we have politically relevant stuff that requires a lot of research and education, and then we've got like the narratives of like who these people are that is that's building up to be like a fun stream. I think that's like the goal, I think. Would Haas debate you again? I don't know, maybe. What about Sean, aka Actual Justice Warrior? AJW is going to have the same problem as Pisco and Wicked Supreme, in that like we probably agree on most things, I think. Like I've talked to Sean quite a bit in real life, a little bit I guess, on the events we've been at, and we've been in panels online, and I think he's generally quiet because I think we generally agree on most things. He might be like a little bit center right, and I'm like, I guess center left, depending on where the fuck I'm at these days. Do you have any normal people you want to talk to? What do you mean by that? Do you see ever talking to Vaush again in the future? I don't know. I think Vaush has pretty much locked himself down in his fortress until he retires. I think it's like his current thing. Why don't you arrange your own panels with your own curated creators? I mean, I kind of did in the past, right? Like technically, like MrGirl and Lav were my curated creators, right? Like these people didn't really exist in streaming. I gave them a platform, and then I kind of created. But then like these people, and like same thing with kind of Vaush and Hasan were like my curated creators. But they always like end up spinning out in like a self-destructive, insanely fucking thing. So yeah, I don't know how to. I just have to find a way to manage that. And we'll probably figure it out eventually. When is the no drummer stuff coming out? I don't know, probably in the next few days. Even if you agree with someone, aren't you still having a worthwhile discussion? No. Those discussions are all the worst discussions, I think, unfortunately. They're not very entertaining, they're not very engaging. Like, I've seen it. We've had, like, it's an unfortunate reality. There's, like, a lot of academics and stuff that have wandered through the channel, but, like, I'm probably going to agree with most academic opinions, so we don't end up, like, disagreeing on much. Why don't you explore on Twitter more? I'm probably going to ratchet up the... Twitter stuff more. I'm starting to again. I think I got a little gaslit or mindfuck. Like I said, it's hard to figure out what I need to do because I can't rely on any of you guys. I think that Twitter Steve, I think, is actually really important. And you guys like neutering the fuck out of that account until it's basically nothing, which is what it has been for the past few months. Like it just doesn't serve me in any way, size, shape, or form. Like I might as well have been banned on Twitter for the past like 6 months because it's not like I'm not getting much out of it, you know. And I'm going to go back to being a little bit more inflammatory. A little bit more, but... I still am disappointed with how everything turned out with Max. I enjoyed your content together before we became unhinged. Would you ever want to be friends, or is this bridge burned forever? I think that has to be burned forever. I'm not sure. I've thought about it. Like, if he, like, apologized and came back, I'm not sure. He's just so fucking weird. I think I mentioned this before. He's, like, he's running through... Now he's going through women on that I follow on Instagram... And he's DMing women that have never been on stream before, that aren't streamers, that don't even they're like normie friends I have, that he's like DMing now to try to find out if I've them, I guess. Like, I don't even know how this could possibly play into an article in any way, size, shape, or form. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, hey, you've hung out with Steven in real life before? Like, did he like, I don't even know what the fuck you could possibly be. On Reddit, he said he got referred to that girl by an anonymous source. I don't believe him. How would an anonymous source have even known? Unless people are going through my Instagram. But no, even so, he should know better. Like, what do you mean an anonymous source? Like, if an anonymous source says, Destiny, talk to this girl, go message her and say that, like, it's just so stupid. Yeah, I don't believe that. I disagree with the Ben Shapiro thing. He's done debates with Anna Kasparian where he's being good faith. His conversation with Lex was really good. Yeah, but his conversation with Lex was like, it's like my complaints about conversations was like, we should talk about having hard conversations instead of actually having hard conversations. Like, do you think Joe Rogan is an idiot? I don't think he's an idiot. He's just a little bit too open-minded. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, those are some thoughts for now. Yeah, I think right now we're just kind of waiting for the next. We're waiting for the next like political event to kind of pop off, and we'll see what happens. What communities we can dig into and fight with. I think I need to branch out from YouTube as well. But like I said, I've got open conversations right now with Kick and with the other people, Kick and Rumble, and I'm just waiting to see how those pan out, and then I can start streaming to those platforms. Maybe we can dig into them, find some people to argue with. We'll see.